Bruno at LNS Farms again, and what we're doing in this video is we are installing a nuke in a hive box. Now, LNS Farms is a working farm. Our focus is on growing things the way God intended. We're beyond organic. And so one of the things we need pollinators. We also want honey for ourselves and our clients and customers. And so we want to show you how we do it. It may or may not be what works for you. If it is, great. If it isn't, take what we do that you like and use it. And what you don't like, don't use. By all means, read, check other sources. There's many different ways to do all the things that we do, and everybody needs to find what's the best way for them. We're just sharing with you what we do, and you need to be careful because some of these things are dangerous. If you're allergic to bees, maybe beekeeping isn't for you. Maybe it is. You have to decide that for yourself. Anyway, so in setting up our nuke in our hive box here, you'll see we're using a deep box on top of a base there. So what we're going to do is we're going to set them. This is a little bit of trauma for them. So we're gonna feed them in the process. So the first thing I'm going to do is this is a feeder. It goes in place of one of the frames that you would put inside the box. So what I'm going to do is right here we have my trusty little Spam can. My wife hates it, but it works real well. So this is our sugar water we've made up. Basically it's about 3/4 of a can of sugar, and then fill the rest up with water. Let it set until it becomes a solution. All right, you'll see it's almost like a syrup. Okay, get out of here, old man. The dogs seem to like it because it's sweet. Okay, so this is what we're going to do with this. Just pour that in there like that. Okay. I'm sure there's other ways to do this. This is the way that I do it for right now. If you have ways that you think are better, or you want to share them, by all means, leave us a comment. Or if you have a question, by all means, send us the questions. We'll answer them as soon as we can. Keep in mind we work 24/7 here on the farm, it seems. So it might take us a couple days to get to you, but I promise you we'll do our best to get to all the questions. Okay, so this gives the bees an easily found, a readily available food source until they kind of get themselves established here. And at times of stress, or like in the winter, after you've harvested a lot of their honey, they need something to eat. And this is a good way to make that happen. You want to keep the hive strong. If you keep it strong, it's more apt to be able to fight off the diseases and bugs and things like that that might attack it. Just like us human beings. If you keep yourself healthy, you're less likely to get sick in the wintertime during cold and flu season than if you are not getting good sleep and exercise and nutrition. Alright, so we're not going to fill this to the top, we're just going to bring it most of the way up here. Now, there's a lot of different feeders out there. There are other feeders you can use that work well also. This is what I like. You can do other things. We also sometimes will use a feeder that goes on the front of the hive and holds a mason jar. And it looks like this. Put the mason jar upside down, clips on there. The bees can come in here and feed because there's holes in that mason jar. That's also another way to do it. Now, when you put this on, this is the cover that goes on this, and if you'll notice, these tubes are perforated. They're kind of like a screen, And what that does is that gives the bees a way to go down there and get their fill of the sugar water and have a way to climb out, because we don't want to drown our girls down there in that sugar water. As much as they like it, they don't want to drown in it. But we don't want them to drown in it either. Okay, we snap that on there like that. All right, that's all in there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put this in our hive box in lieu of one of the frames. All right, we're going to put this right here on this side like that. Now what's going to happen is that inside this box with the nukes is should be 5 frames of the which there'll be a queen in there. There'll be all the worker bees. There should be some frames of brood, some of honey, and we're going to put them in, and then we're going to fill in the extra spaces with empty frames that are ready for them to build out, so they can start expanding their hive. Okay. Now, if you're not used to this, you don't do it often, I suggest you wear a suit and hood. Don't be surprised if you don't see me with this too often. I kind of like being with them, but it's the first time. You're not familiar with the bees, they're not familiar with you. It wouldn't hurt to be a little bit on the cautious side. Now if I could zip this up without needing my mommy to dress me. I'm being challenged today. There we go. All right. So if you're of the, you feel more comfortable wearing a suit, by all means do it. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. And you seal that up with the Velcro. Now, when you have the head net on, you don't want it to be pressed up against you, because then if a bee lands on there, it can sting you through it. So the idea is that it creates, that's one of the reasons I leave the hat on, it creates a little space between you and the net, so if they land on there, they still can't sting you. Okay. We have gloves too, but we're going to do this without the gloves for right now. We'll see if these are, how hostile they are. Right, you gotta move this out of the way, create a little space. And the smoke helps to calm them. We don't want too much smoke, but we want some. Did our stuff all burn out? Right. Peel this duct tape off of here that they used to seal up this nuke box. When you pick it up, you got to be able to put it in the car. It kind of it would be like a Stephen King movie if you had all these bees flying around inside the car. May not make for the most relaxing trip. So you seal them up pretty good. And they're like anything else. These are they're kind of like dogs in the sense that if you're not running around scared and jumping up and down, you're relaxed, they're more likely to be relaxed and not have an issue. Okay? So I'm going to open this up now. In here, we have our girls working there. Okay. I think our smoker's out of fuel. Let's see. Maybe we'll add a little bit. Yep. We'll just throw some more wood chips in there. One of the nice things about this setup. A little more wood chips. Almost is high enough to not light on its own. bit more go juice here. There we go. Let's see if that's enough. There we go. And we don't want a lot of smoke anyway, we just want a little bit. It helps keep them calm. Okay. Maybe put a little smoke there. Okay. Alright. So that'll calm them down a little bit. They'll relax. And then you always want to use a hive tool. We don't want to just grab a hold of these frames and try to rip them up, because we don't want to kill any of the bees and we don't want to break the frames up. So they're a little sticky with the propolis and honey and stuff that's stuck to them. So we kind of loosen them up a little bit like this. Okay. Now we want to take them out and put them in the box in the same order they are in here. Okay, so nice and gently. Just take nice and easy. Okay. Here we are. This is our first frame. Let me set this right in here like this. Like I said, nice and easy. I don't want to squish anybody. Take our tool. Make sure this one's loose. Take the next one out. Okay. Alright. See, we have some honey in that one. These are all doing their thing. Everybody looks happy. Alright, that's our next one. Alright, just gently put that in there like that. We don't want to squish anybody. Okay. This one's pretty light. They're building out the comb, but I don't see a lot of honey in there yet, or brood. There's a little bit. The next one. Okay. Now you'll notice when you do this, you'll feel some of these are heavier than others. Okay, you see like that one has a lot of honey in it. Okay, so they have something to eat. Can't have them getting hungry, right? You can't be doing too much work if they're not fed. Okay, now here's our last one. There you go. Alright. They're busy. They're working away there. See some of them feeding and putting stuff in the cones. Now, we're going to fill in the rest of the spaces with frames that are empty, so they have other places to build. All right. So here's, we're going to put an empty frame right there, right next to our sugar frame. Okay. Oops. You want to be gentle. You don't want to crush anybody. Then we're going to put a couple more empty frames in here. like that. That's all basically you got room for. And then what we want to put on top now, if you notice inside that nuke box, we still have some bees that are still in there. Some people will tell you just leave it next to the hive and they'll find their way over. But I kind of prefer to just kind of gently motivate them to get into that box. So what we'll do is we'll just give them a tap like this, right? We're gonna shake them out right here. This is that brush comes in handy. Gonna gently push them out on top of the frames there. Okay. There we go. All right, and any stragglers, we'll leave this box here for a couple days, and they'll in a day or so they'll find their way over in the other box. All right. Now there's an inner cover that goes on there first. Okay. I'm going to put that down like that. And then on top of that goes our hive cover. This keeps that all together. And if you'll notice, there's a piece of metal on the top, and it acts like a roof and keeps the weather out of their box. So now, that is our newly installed nuke in our hive box here. Now, oh, another thing that we want to do, this is an entrance restrictor. See, right now, the bees have this entire opening where intruders could come in. Now, they can go in and out, but the intruders could come in too. So we don't want that to happen. We don't want them to have other problems. So what we do to make it easier for them to protect it is we put this entrance restrictor in there. So now the entrance is only that wide, and that will keep other insects or predators from bothering them. And it makes it easier for them to protect the hive because it's a smaller opening. So this is our first hive. I hope it encourages you to go out there and try your hand at beekeeping and growing your own food. Remember, never buy food from strangers. If you don't know your farmer, you don't know your food. Please hit the like button and subscribe, and we'll see you soon.